Hi everyone, my name is Leslie and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to actually just do my May wrap up. I read 11 books in the month of May. Since we're still on lockdown, or we were on lockdown during May, I had plenty of time to read. So I will run through these fairly quickly. I did a couple dedicated reviews, I think 2 actually. So for those, I won't say too much about them. I will just link them in the cards above. So we will just go in the order of the books that I finished. So for the first one was The Light Over London by Julia Kelly. This is a World War II / current day, like 2000s story of a woman in the 2000s who finds a diary of the woman who was in World War II and how that woman finds the story of the woman in World War II. And it's sort of a romance set up against the World War. And this one was okay. I enjoyed it. It was good for what it was. I was entertained and I found the writing to be fine. There wasn't anything bad about it, wasn't anything great about it. I gave it 3 stars. The next book I finished in the month was The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is a high fantasy story set in China, and the main character's name is Rin, and she goes to an assassin type school, or military school, I guess, not necessarily an assassin, and things take off from there. I really liked this book. I hadn't read a high fantasy in a while, and I felt like it just fit my mood perfectly at the time, and I found the story really engaging. I will say that it's sort of a book on fast forward. It does feel like that you're in a section and then all of a sudden you are like years ahead or months ahead. So it does, I wouldn't say it jumps around in time, but it just speeds through time a little quicker than I was expecting. I gave this 4 stars. I'm looking forward to continuing on in the series. Next, I read The Pioneers by David McCullough. This is a nonfiction account of settling around the Ohio River Valley. So this is late 1700s, and it's in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, sort of in that Midwest part of the United States. And I found this to be really interesting. I hate to say that I don't remember it a ton, but as I was listening to it on audiobook, I was really engrossed. I've said a million times, I love studying history. That's what my degree is in. Probably will never have a job doing that, but I love studying it. I love learning. And this book is really fascinating while you're listening to it. There's parts, obviously, I don't remember a ton about it now, which I don't know if that means it's a good book or not, or maybe I was just checked out or what, but I enjoyed this. If you've read any of David McCullough's other works, you'll probably enjoy this too. Next, I finished Still Life by Louise Penny. This is the first in the Inspector Gamache series. It's set in Canada in like a little village, and it's murder mysteries. And I hate to say that I didn't love this book. I remember being pretty bored, and I never connected with any of the characters that much. So I'm kind of up in the air on if I want to continue the series. I've heard it gets a lot better, so I probably will try at least one more of them. They're not super long, and I still enjoyed the mystery aspect of it. I just was hoping to really fall in love with either the town or the actual main Inspector Gamache, but I just found this okay. After that, I finished The Starless C by Erin Morgenstern. This is a adult fantasy about, I don't know. I would just say read the blurb. I really did not care for this. I have a whole dedicated review to it if you're interested. I gave it 2 stars. I was super bummed. I had really high expectations and it just did not work for me. You may love it. If you like whimsical, sort of nonsensical, meandering plots and pretty vapid characters, you may love this. But again, that's just my opinion. After that, I read The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. This is I guess I would categorize this as just an adult fiction book, romance maybe. I don't really want to say too much about it because I think I went in pretty blind and I was a little bit surprised on where the plot went. So I'm just going to say that I liked this. I didn't love it. I enjoyed Chamberlain's writing. I thought there's one element, which may be kind of a spoiler, so I'm not going to say what it is, that I just don't like in books. They always fall flat for me. My logical brain just doesn't quite grasp it as much as I wish I could. It's asking me to suspend reality a little bit, and I'm just not good at that. So that's probably a me thing and not really a squabble with the book, but the ending is good, and overall it was fine. I gave this, I think, 3 stars on Goodreads, but I probably would give it like a 3.5. I definitely would pick up more of Diane Chamberlain's work in the future. After that, I listened to The Mayflower by Nathaniel Philbrick. This is another nonfiction book, and this is clearly about the Mayflower. And this book was really interesting. I feel like in America, we learn about Thanksgiving, and it's such a watered down version of what Thanksgiving really is. And this book is so much more intricate about sort of that initial settling of the Pilgrims coming to the United States and what that looked like in their response and interaction with the Native Americans. And Squanto is a very interesting character in U.S. history. I definitely recommend this book. I think I gave it 4 stars because it does get a little boring and long. But other than that, I found that this was really good. After that, I read A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. This is a story of a man who is essentially on house arrest in the Metropole Hotel in Moscow, and kind of his life. There are other characters, and the guests of the hotel feature prominently, but this book is spectacular. I loved the writing. I loved the characters. This is a very character-driven book, and I just fell in love with it. It just there's something about it that's really charming, and I need to reread it because I feel like I probably missed a lot of it, and there were some quotes that were just amazing. So I don't know. It's a really great book. If you're interested in something like that, I say pick it up. I don't think you'd be disappointed. Next, I read Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey. This is like I don't know if it's adult or YA, truthfully, but it's about a girl who is obsessed with rom-coms, and she wants to meet her Tom Hanks. And, we know Tom Hanks is in all of the best rom-coms, and it kind of goes from there. I don't really like rom-coms. The Holiday, the movie that came out, I don't know, however many years ago, 10 years ago, probably more now. I really love that movie. That's maybe one of my favorite movies of all time, and that's about as rom-com-y as I love. I have a few others that I enjoy, but it is not my go-to genre. So this book had a lot of references to Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail, and I get them. Well, I don't even know if I've seen Sleepless in Seattle, but I have seen You've Got Mail, and I didn't love it when I saw it, so that's probably about blasphemy. But I still found this book to be enjoyable enough. It was cute. I gave it 3 stars. It's not amazing. It wasn't bad. I'm sure some people would think it was bad, but it was entertaining for what it was. I didn't expect much. After that, I picked up a seemingly controversial book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and I kind of liked it. I don't know. This book is like a philosophical journey of a kid named Santiago, and he's on his way to find his personal journey, and he meets different characters, and I don't even know how to explain it more than that, and that probably makes me sound like an idiot, of course, but I found this book to just be kind of delightful. I don't know. I think that I didn't find it as preachy as maybe some people could. I think that element is certainly present. So if those books are turnoffs to you, then I would say skip this one. But I found it kind of nice. I think we kind of miss out on that in current literature, where there's somebody who is teaching you things, and along the way you're implementing those lessons. And I don't know, for some reason it just worked. Maybe I read it at the right time. I did listen to the audiobook, which was narrated by Jeremy Irons, which that's always pleasant. So I don't know, I kind of liked it. I can still see why people really don't like it. So there's that. After that, I read The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. This is a classic book. I did a whole review of it, so I won't talk about it too much. Most people seem to know what it is. It's basically a major revenge story, and I loved it. Absolutely spectacular. I think it's a masterpiece. It's one that I certainly would love to reread in my lifetime, so I hope I get the chance. I think you should check it out if you enjoy classics or if you like intricate plots with great characters. And the last book I read in the month was The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. This is a book about a guy and a girl who share a flat, but it's more of they share the same bed. So one of them works nights, one of them works during the day, and so they're never really home at the same time. And they eventually sort of fall for each other. They leave notes to each other, and they, kind of create a relationship. I thought this was really cute. I will say that I feel like I had heard that people loved this book, that it was amazing, and I didn't quite see it like that. I definitely enjoyed Leon, the male character, more than Tiffy, the female character. And maybe it's a little bit spoilery, so I won't go into it as why, but I enjoyed his parts of the book more than Tiffy's. Not that it was like a major difference between the two, but I just preferred him to her. I think I would definitely pick up something else that Beth O'Leary writes. And that is all I read in the month of May. That's a lot of books. I don't know what my reading will be like going forward in June. I do have a TBR video that should be coming up shortly. And until next time, bye.